You know that feeling when everything in your life finally feels peaceful? When you look around your home, your family, your marriage, and you think, I finally made it. That's exactly how I felt. My name's Emily, I'm 32, and for the longest time, I thought I was living my dream. A loving husband, a stable job, and a small but cozy home in the suburbs. But if I've learned anything, it's that sometimes the person sleeping right next to you is the one you should fear the most. It all started about a year ago. My husband, Mark, and I had been married for 7 years. We weren't perfect, but we had history, college sweethearts, survived long distance, and built a life together from scratch. He was charming, funny, and always the good guy in everyone's eyes. But the truth was about to destroy me. It began subtly. Mark started working late. He claimed his company had taken on a big new client, and that deadlines were tight. At first, I didn't think much of it. He'd always been ambitious. But soon, those late nights became more frequent. Then came the emotional distance. He stopped asking about my day. He stopped noticing the little things, the dinner I made, the new haircut, the lingerie I bought for our anniversary. One night, as I climbed into bed, I noticed something strange. His phone was face down on the nightstand, which wasn't unusual. But when it buzzed, he jumped, literally jolted up from half sleep, grabbed it, and ran to the bathroom. That was the first night I felt that cold, hollow pit of suspicion. Around this time, I started venting to my best friend, Sophie. We'd known each other for years. She'd been my maid of honor, the sister I never had. She always listened patiently, giving advice and telling me maybe I was just overthinking. But here's where it gets twisted. Mark and Sophie had always been friendly. Too friendly sometimes. Inside jokes, shared laughs, and once I even caught them whispering at a dinner party, they brushed it off as a surprise for me. Looking back, I hate myself for trusting them so blindly. One Friday night, I came home early from work, surprise day off. Mark's car wasn't in the driveway, but Sophie's was. My heart pounded as I stepped inside. I could hear muffled laughter upstairs. Sophie. I called out, my voice trembling. Silence. Then hurried footsteps. I'll never forget that scene. Mark, shirtless, standing at the bedroom door, and Sophie, wrapped in our bedsheet. In our bed. The bed we'd shared for years. The room spun. I remember dropping my purse, my body going numb. Sophie started crying, or maybe pretending to. Mark kept saying, Emily, wait, it's not what it looks like. But it was exactly what it looked like. That night, something inside me broke, and something else woke up. I didn't scream. I didn't throw things. I just stared at them. Then I turned around, walked out, and spent the night in my car, shaking under the weight of betrayal. The next morning, I packed a bag and went to stay with my sister. Mark called me nonstop. Text after text, apologies, excuses, promises. Sophie sent one long message. It just happened, Emily.
We didn't mean for it to.
Please don't hate me. I blocked them both. For days, I replayed everything in my mind. Every moment that suddenly had a darker meaning. The working late nights, the sudden perfume scent on his shirt, the way Sophie always avoided eye contact when I mentioned him. But I wasn't ready to let them walk away that easily. They broke my heart. I was going to break their peace. Mark had always been proud of his career. He worked in real estate, built his reputation carefully, and had just landed a promotion. Sophie, on the other hand, ran a small local beauty studio. Her image depended on being trustworthy and professional. So I decided to hit them where it hurt most, their reputation. First, I gathered proof. I still had photos from that night. They didn't even notice I took them. Then I found screenshots, flirty texts, can't wait to see you again, same bed tonight? It made my stomach turn, but I saved everything. Then I created a fake client profile and booked an appointment with Sophie's studio. When I arrived, she looked shocked, almost guilty. I smiled politely and said, just here for a touch-up. When she turned her back, I placed a small envelope on her counter. Inside, printed photos of her and Mark, plus one line written in red ink. Shared bed. Shattered trust. Everyone deserves to know. The next morning, I posted a simple, factual thread on a local community group. Be careful who you trust. Sometimes your best friend and your husband share more than friendship. Proof in comments. The post blew up overnight. People were shocked. Sophie's clients started canceling appointments. Mark's company found out after someone forwarded the post to HR. He was suspended pending investigation for conduct unbecoming. I didn't lie. I didn't embellish. I just told the truth. For weeks, my phone didn't stop ringing, friends, family, even neighbors wanting to check in. I stayed silent publicly. Let them think whatever they wanted. Privately, I filed for divorce. Mark showed up at my sister's door one night, eyes red, begging. He said he'd lost everything, that he'd made a mistake. He actually cried, the kind of sobbing that used to break me. But this time I felt nothing. Just peace. I didn't destroy your life, Mark, I told him. You did that yourself. He left without another word. As for Sophie, she tried moving to another town, rebranding her business, pretending like nothing happened. But small towns have long memories. The story followed her everywhere. And me, I moved on. It wasn't easy, but it was freeing. I started therapy, focused on myself, and even started journaling, which is how I ended up telling this story. If you're listening to this wondering how I could ever forgive, I'll be honest, I haven't. Not completely. But I learned something stronger than forgiveness: self-respect. Because sometimes revenge isn't about hurting back. It's about reclaiming your voice after someone tried to silence it. It's about standing tall in the ruins they left behind and saying, "You didn't destroy me, you revealed yourself." So, if you're ever betrayed by someone you love, remember this. You can survive it. You can rise from it. And you can make sure they never forget the day they broke your trust. Because once a bed is shared in betrayal, it can never be the same again. Shared bed, shattered trust. Sometimes the sweetest revenge is simply walking away stronger than ever.